Hi guys, it's Jen from Jen's Vanity. Today what we're going to do is a review of the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint with Hyaluronic Acid. It's a new foundation that Neutrogena came out with. It's in, I believe it's a plastic jar, but it does look like glass. And it's got a screw off top with a very large doe foot applicator. The claims on this is it's just supposed to help hydrate and plump your skin and help it look better over time while you wear it. I have been wearing this the last week, so I do already have some thoughts on it, but I'll show you the before and afters of the type of coverage that you get and what my thoughts are on it. I also did pick up the Hydro Boost Hydrating Concealer. This I have not used, so this will be a new sort of a first impressions on that, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So I have found with this foundation that it goes on best with a goes on best with a goes on best with a beauty blender or some type of makeup sponge like that. I tried it with a brush and it does set a little bit quickly, so it did not work so well doing that. I'm not using a primer or anything for this. I just want you guys to really see what the makeup will do. And seeing that it does dry pretty quickly, I find the best method is really just to apply it straight from the jar to your face and work just section by section. As you can see, it is more of a sheer coverage. That's pretty much what I think it says. It's supposed to just, it's a hydrating tint, so I don't think it's supposed to be like a full coverage foundation at all. So you are going to see freckles, you're going to see your acne. So this is the foundation. I just kind of wanted to give you a look before I went ahead and applied any concealer. I'm going to take some pictures, so I will pop those up. I am just going to go ahead and use my beauty blender again. And let's just read a little bit about, it's supposed to have a unique hydrating core designed to instantly quench the skin, so it's supposed to keep it pretty hydrated, with purified hyaluronic acid. Non-greasy, lightweight formula glides onto skin, providing silky smooth, natural looking coverage, flawlessly masks imperfections without cakey finish, blends effortlessly to hide dark circles for a fresh look all day. The color that I got was the lightest one, which is 10 Fair, and it looks to be, and on camera it looks a lot lighter, but it looks to be a little bit dark compared to the foundation color, and again on camera it's not showing that. The foundation color does oxidize very slightly, so you are going to notice it does deepen up a little bit, but let's just go ahead and put the concealer on. I don't tend to put a lot of concealer on, but I don't know, can you tell? I do see that you know, I have slightly like dark here. It is a little bit lighter, but I'm going to put just a little bit more. See if it'll build there. And then I usually do put concealer on my eyelids. That's how I set it. I'm a little bit worried because this says it's moisturizing that it's going to crease, but we're going to roll with it. So obviously this is the eye that I've done. This is the eye that I have not done. I think it gives a nice amount of coverage. It does feel very moisturizing on the eye, and it really does glide on the skin. So it's not dry at all. It doesn't tug at all, which I know is usually a concern with stick concealers. So that's good. It's already creased just a little bit on this eyelid, but normally concealer does that. And I try and set it right away. Like I blend it and then set it. So what I'm going to use is the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I've used the foundation with a couple of different powders, and it seems to work well with translucent loose powders and pressed powders. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this pressed powder today. And I didn't notice that the under eye part creased at all yet, so that's good. Just the eyelid. Okay, now let's see how it does with these red spots I've got going on, because those tend to be a little bit flaky. And I don't mind if they show through a little bit, like I don't need to have flawless skin. I don't think it's doing a very good job at covering up any of the acne that I have going on. Like this really red one, it's not doing the job at all. So I am going to use a different concealer on that little guy. But the rest of it, I'm kind of okay with it showing a little bit, but this one I want just some more coverage on it. Alright guys, so I have the rest of my face on. As you can see, it is a very beautiful looking foundation. It does set down while you're applying it, so that's why I feel like the Beauty Blender or some kind of a makeup sponge helps to give you a little bit more working time with it. Like I said yesterday, I tried to use it with a brush and it did go on quite patchy. I had a hard time making it blend, and if I wanted to build it up, I couldn't because it then just sort of streaked up and caused like darker spots on my skin. As far as the color, it does, I would say, oxidize a little bit darker than what it looks in the bottle. And actually, I was surprised when I saw these. The colors in the bottle look extremely light. Like I've never had to buy a number 4 in a foundation, but the one that I wore, or the one that I bought and that I have on, is Nude 40. So it's the 4th color in their series, which I feel like my skin tone is not a number 4. Typically it's not. I'm usually like the 2nd or the 3rd color, and it really just depends on the undertones. These ones all seem to have like a pretty neutral undertone from what I was seeing. Some of them were a little bit on the pinky side, but none were like really yellow or anything like that, which is usually what I go towards. Now, as far as the shade range, the display at the Walgreens where I found mine, they didn't really have that many different colors. They just had, I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 different colors, and they didn't really have anything for like medium to deep. They had a little bit for medium, but none for deep on the display that I saw. It was $16.99, so it's a pretty expensive foundation. Typically you can find a coupon though for $2 off of Neutrogena, so I did use that. On Neutrogena's website, this is going for $14.99, so I think that's probably about the cheapest that you're going to find this item. On the website, they do have 10 different shades. Yeah, so there's the deepest shade, and as you can see, that's not very deep. And when you're looking at them, if you're looking at them online, the bottles themselves, like where they're trying to show you the color, look way darker than they do in person. So kind of keep that in mind too when you're going to pick a shade, that you might be that shade and it's going to look very dark if you're picking it out online. So I would definitely try and pick this out in store if you can, because they don't look true to color online whatsoever. And then as far as the concealers, they are, for pricing, they were $14.99, and on Neutrogena's website they are $12.99. There's only 5 shades of the concealer. As far as application of the concealer, I really like it. Do I think that it's worth $12.99 for a concealer? I'm not quite sure yet because I haven't worn it all day. But I don't have any other stick concealers. It feels very moisturizing, so I really like that. It's a little bit different than any of the concealers that I've tried. As far as covering acne and things like that, this is not going to do it. It didn't cover any of the stuff that I had here, so I had to use a different concealer, and especially on these deeper, redder ones, I definitely had to use something else because this is not like a full coverage foundation, so keep that in mind. So going back to just the foundation, because that's really what the review is about, I really do like the way that this looks on the skin. I think it does a very good job at minimizing the pores on your skin. It makes your skin look just nice. It makes it look like your skin. As far as longevity of it, I don't feel like it stands up to a 12-hour day for me. It doesn't look terrible by the end of the day, but when I get home from work, I'm absolutely taking it off. I do find it breaks down typically here on my nose, especially if I'm wearing my glasses, and that's typical of any foundation. It just kind of gets slid around a little bit as my glasses fall and I push them up. So there's a little bit of like breakdown and like bunching up, and then like my dry flakies right here, they do stand out a little bit. Now I have noticed as I've been wearing it over the last week, I have broken out just a little bit, so I'm not sure if that's due to the intense moisture of this or just switching my foundation in general. It's not terrible breakouts, but they'll be like little whiteheads, so I can just kind of clear them off. They'll be a little bit red and then they'll go away. So I don't know. Just throwing that out there that I did break out. Yes, I'm going to continue to use this up to 5 hours. I feel like it looks really good and I wouldn't have to touch up. Now I typically don't touch up my makeup, but at that point, I feel like if you wanted to, you could after about 5 hours, because it does tend to break down a little bit and not have as much of a matte finish as it does when you first put it on. But all in all, I'm pretty impressed. I was a little bit hesitant to buy it because it was claiming that it was a super moisturizing foundation, and I was like, oh, I don't really want another dewy foundation, but I did want to give it a try. So if you guys are in the market for a new foundation, you haven't tried anything like this, the consistency is different than any other foundation that I have tried, so that's really why I like it. That's my thoughts on this foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Please subscribe before you leave. Click that bell button if you want to be notified for all of my upcoming videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!